I think that is one of the biggest things when it comes to goal setting that you just have to learn is trial and error. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm here to talk about my monthly goals. Every month I sit down and I share with you how last month's goals went, and I share with you all of the goals I have set for the upcoming month. I tell you a little bit more about them and just kind of let you in on my goal setting journey. I think that it's so helpful to just learn from other people. I watch videos like this. The only person I know actually right now that does videos like this is my friend Brianna over at Diva and the Divine. But if you know anybody else who sits down and checks in with their power sheets, let me know down in the comments, because I find value in watching other people's goal journeys. I learn from them, I'm inspired by them. And so I hope that you get the same value out of watching my monthly goal videos. All right, let's go ahead and start with August. August was pretty good. I lost it a little bit for a week. I feel like there's the ebb and flow, right, of motivation and your ability to keep going and push through. And I'm the kind of person that once I lose it, it is so much harder to get it back. And so I started out the month really strong because I had it. I was on that motivation train and I was doing all of the things. I was checking off all of my goals. And then I kind of lost it for a week and I kind of dipped down and had a lot of dots instead of check marks, but it was okay. I picked it back up and I'm excited to finish the month strong, but let's go ahead and talk about all of them. So starting with the monthly action items, the first one was to finish my action plan for my Black Lives Matter goal, and I did that. I have a whole plan of all the different courses and books and movies and all the different resources that I'm going to tap into as I continue to work on my personal learning as it pertains to being an anti-racist and supporting the Black Lives, I almost said Black Americans, but it's really all across the world, but especially here in America where I can really make a difference in my own communities. And so I also have a list of places that I want to try and do something and try and have an impact. So I have my sorority alumni association, my school alumni association, just all kinds of different ideas that I've had. They're finally all done on paper and kind of mapped out with a timeline of the order in which I'm going to do them. I know that this is something that it feels like it's a trend. It feels like it's something that everybody is working on now and it's going to die down, and I don't want to let that happen, at least for me. I want to make sure that I am still working on this every single day for as long as it takes. And so right now I have a plan that maps out pretty far into the future. It's something that I'm going to keep working on, and I'm really excited about it. I think that this is just one of those things that I always knew was important, but I didn't realize how much I didn't know. And it takes me back to that quote from Maya Angelou that says, do your best until you know better, and then do better. The next one was to finish my project management brainstorm, and I did that. I have it actually in my iPad. I felt like that was the best place, and every time I had a new idea, I kind of went and added to it. I did it in sort of a mind map style where I have like YouTube in a circle and then all the little things off of YouTube that I need to get to the project management tool. I have Patreon, I have all the different aspects of Plan with Laken mapped out on this like mind map on my iPad. And so I'm sure you can guess what's coming in September. All right, the next three goals were all wedding related. The first one was to pick a caterer, and I am happy to say that we did that. We kind of hashed out all of the pros and cons and really finally decided on the one that we're gonna go with, and we're really excited about it. There are some additional things that we've got to kind of get finalized with that now, like picking, you know, which meats and which sides and all the different aspects of now that we have a caterer. But all that the goal was for August was to pick one, and we did that. The next one was to make bridesmaids dress shopping appointments, and my mom actually did that. And so I am here to remind you that it's okay to ask for help. And this was on my list because I know that it needed to get done, but I asked for help. I asked my mom, who's my matron of honor, I was like, can you please help make these appointments? Because you have time, she's retired, I'm like, you have time to do the research and to call the places and all the things. Because sometimes it's hard right now to make appointments online because you can only have so many people and they can only have one group at a time and all those things. So my mom actually did all of that for me, but it's done. And then the last one was to get some inspiration for the actual bridesmaids dresses, and I did that. I went through Pinterest and like just saved a bunch of pictures and things that I liked and things that I thought would look good on all of my bridesmaids and just all that kind of stuff. So at least now we have some idea of what I kind of like going into it, but I'm going in with an open mind, just like I did with dress shopping. Like I'm not trying them on. I will have them try on things that I may not have originally picked out because you never know. Okay, the next section is the weekly action items. So the first one is my Write the Word journal, and I did an okay job of this. I don't know what it is or why I can't get into doing this, weekly. And maybe it is just because it's weekly, and if I try to do it daily, it'll be better. I don't know yet. I have not figured it out, but I was not consistent with this. And I even tried like replacing my morning pages on Sundays with the Write the Word instead of morning pages so that I would make sure that I would do it. And I still haven't been super consistent with it. So I don't know what it is. I don't think it's the journals. I've heard so many people say so many good things about them, and I have more than one. Like I have the one that I started down here, and then I also have like 2, I think maybe 3 at home. So maybe I do try it daily. I have enough journals and incorporate it into my daily morning routine. It'll be way more likely to happen because I'm already sitting down to journal all these other things. Part of me feels like, really, are you gonna add another thing to your morning routine? But it's way more likely to happen. So I am not doing it for September. I'm gonna give it a break, and then we'll see. Maybe October I'll feel more inspired again. The next one was to make sure I was sending a weekly scheduled text to my Patreon for the tier that has text messaging. This one was so easy. I sent way more than one weekly text. Hopefully they're not sick of me. That one was just like, I put it in here just to make sure, but I definitely didn't even need to have that in my power sheets. And then the last one was to get my YouTube videos up at least 24 hours every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I did an okay job of that. Some of them were checked, some of them weren't. But truthfully, I am not carrying this over because I'm gonna try something a little different with my videos going forward in terms of getting them done in advance. So I'm not carrying this over, not because I solidified it, because I definitely didn't. I didn't check them all off, but I am just trying something different. I think that is one of the biggest things when it comes to goal setting that you just have to learn is trial and error. And you have to think about what you want the end goal to be and realize that sometimes the way that you get there might have to change. So like for me, right, the end goal is not because I want the video up 24 hours in advance. Like that is like an arbitrary time that I picked. The goal is to have the video done so that I'm not worried about it and like frantically trying to finish it and get it done. Well, that could be having it done 24 hours in advance, could be having it a week done in advance, it could be having it a month done in advance. It doesn't have to be like that specific thing. So trying something a little bit different in the next couple of months, and you will hear more about that when I talk about my quarterly goals for Q4. All right, let's talk about the daily action items. Before I go through them individually, for the most part, they were all kind of grouped together. I kind of pushed them all into my morning routine. And so if I did my morning routine, I did them all. Like that's just, it pretty much happened. There's a couple times where 1 or 2 didn't happen, but for the most part, they were kind of an all or nothing lumped together. That just kind of how it happened. I didn't plan that when I sat down and did my daily goals last month. I wasn't intending to do them all as part of my morning routine, but that's just how it kind of shaped up this month. So let's go through them individually. The first one is the Launchpad planner. And again, I incorporated that into my morning routine and I loved it. And I'm pretty much through the entire structured piece of the planner in terms of like stuff I can do now, like questions and exercises I can answer now. And the rest of it is just ongoing research or ongoing conversations that I will go back and add to it. So I feel like I'm in a good place. You'll see what I've kind of adjusted it for in September, but I'm glad that I made it a daily goal in August because it has definitely worked out better for me than when I tried to do it weekly in July. The next one was to post in the Facebook group for my Patreons. So easy. Did this one every single day. No, didn't miss a day, and I've been loving this. I think it has been beneficial for me. It's been beneficial for them. Winning all around. The next one was to clear out 100 photos on my phone, and I wrote down 100 photos, and I realized already I wrote down 100 photos again for September, and that's not even what I've been doing in August. I've been doing 3 minutes. So as part of my morning routine, I set a timer for 3 minutes. I go through photos for 3 minutes, whatever that looks like, and then I'm done because it's just so attainable. It's so small. Sometimes it's 100, sometimes it's not. And so I already know I wrote it down as 100 photos for September, and that's not even what I'm doing. Oh well, that is what it is. The next one was to do my morning routine, which I obviously did because that's when I did all these other things. And then the last one was to fill in my health planner. And again, I did that when I did my morning routine. This one got a little bit harder because it is a weekly planner. I have a video about it if you want to see more about my health planner, but the problem was when I missed like Monday and Tuesday, I didn't want to do Wednesday and Thursday because I'd already missed 2 days and I didn't want to go back and fill in those days. So that part is kind of hard with like, I can't just miss a day and then I end up giving up on the whole week because it's a layout situation. So I don't know if I just need to get over that. Like if there's a blank day, there's a blank day and it's okay, so that I don't lose the entire week. Like I don't give up on the whole week. And that's it. that's everything that I did in August. Again, it was a pretty good month. I felt like I had a good balance of getting things done, but also enjoying our last month down here in Texas and being able to relax a little bit. And now we are moving on to September. So let's start with the encouraging words. So normally what I do is I think about my month as a whole, and I think about all my goals. I do the goals first, and I think about what's kind of a theme that I need encouragement for throughout the month. And I know that September is going to bring a lot of change. There's gonna be a lot of things changing, a lot going on, and I wanted some encouragement to embrace and be okay with that change. So I found this quote from Maya Angelou that is, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. I'm also always looking for those reminders to control what I can and let go of what I can't. So I'm excited to have that quote at the top of my power sheets this month. And then for my top priority, I wrote breathe. It also goes in line with the fact that there's gonna be a lot going on and a lot of change and a lot of things that I may or may not be able to control. And I just wanted to remind myself to breathe sometimes. So let's start with the monthly action items. The first one is the wedding related goal, and that is to pick the bridesmaid dresses. Got all the inspiration, have the appointment set. This one should be pretty easy, right? I go to the appointments and I pick a dress. The next three are all of my Plan with Laken related goals. So obviously in August, I did a brainstorm of the project management tool, and this month I'm going to get it set up. So the first task that I wanna do is watch a tutorial on the project management tool. A friend of mine who also has her own business, she sent me a tutorial that she's done for other people on Asana, which is the project management tool that I chose. And so I'm gonna watch her tutorial. That's like the first thing I wanna do in September. The second thing I wanna do is get it set up, is to get all the things in there. And I know it'll take time, and I'll end up changing things and moving things around, and it'll be like an evolving process, but I at least wanna get some kind of structure and framework set. The last Plan with Laken related goal is to get my Plan with Laken finances in order. I participated in, if you watched my daily Plan with Me video, you heard all about this. I participated in an online business summit. It was all free, and it was over the course of a week, Monday through Friday. And there were free sessions, free lessons basically every day for a week. And one of the biggest takeaways that I had, and something that I've obviously known for a very long time, but never acted on it and never done it properly, was to separate my business and my personal finances. I just have never done it. I keep them all lumped together as one, and I know that that's not the way to go. So I am in September. My goal is to get it all separated, to get Plan with Laken its own account, maybe its own credit card. I have an LLC, but I don't have it separated financially, and I need to get that in order, as well as a budget set up, a profit and loss statement set up for Plan with Laken, so that I know what's happening. Obviously, I pull all this information out every year for tax purposes, but I don't have it set up ongoing so that I can monitor it weekly, even monthly. And then the last monthly action item is related to my writing goal, and that is to write a monthly newsletter. I have been toying with this idea for a very long time, and I'll tell you, here's what has always held me back. I don't like reading email newsletters. That's the secret. I don't actually enjoy it. And I've always been the kind of person who has run my business based on the things that I like and the things that I enjoy, the way I enjoy taking in content or taking in information. And I don't read them when people send me monthly newsletters. Even people that I love to follow on every other form of social media, I don't read email newsletters. That is not everybody. And that's one of the other big things I took away from this online business summit, is that that's not true for everybody. Other people like to read email newsletters, and I've been hearing this from other coaches and people I've worked with over the past few months. And so I decided I'm finally gonna start it, but it's only gonna be monthly, one email a month. And I'm gonna try to make sure that it's more than just here are all the videos I posted this month. I wanted to have value and content. So I'm not planning to send it till the end of the month. I'm gonna take the whole month to think about what I want it to look like and structure wise, and then I'm going to hopefully send it at the end of the month. So if you are not on my email list, which I have never really plugged because I don't send them, I don't send emails really ever. I sent one when I launched the Patreon, and that's basically it. So if you are interested in joining the email list to get my one email newsletter at the end of September, I will leave the link down below and you can sign up there. All right, the weekly action items. So the first one here is also related to my writing goal, and that is to work on my Fear Boss workbook. So So I've talked about Fear is My Homeboy, the book, a few times in different videos. I think it was in my quarterly favorites video from the spring. And I've talked about Judy Holler, who's the author of the book, on Instagram. I think she is fantastic. I love her book, her podcast, her vibe, all the things. And she released a workbook to accompany her book. And so it's like questions and writing, and I'm so excited about it. Obviously, I'm so nervous that I'm gonna mess it up, but I'm finally going to start using it in September. And I decided the best way to do that would just be to do it weekly. So during one of my personal development times that I have set aside for Plan with Laken, I am going to just work on my Fear Boss workbook during that time. All right, the next weekly action item is a routine related goal. So my quarterly goal was I could pull any routine that I'd done before, and I want to kind of make sure that I'm refocusing on it. And the one that I chose for September was to meal plan and meal prep. I have been doing a pretty good job of that here. Like, I'll be honest, I've been doing a pretty good job of that. But because I have to, because we are ordering groceries more sparingly and we're not ordering in here, and I didn't have a choice. When we get back to New York, I'm gonna be very tempted by all of the takeout and the Whole Foods around the corner. The ease of shopping whenever I feel like it and the ease of ordering in whenever I feel like it is going to be there. And so I want to make sure that I am still meal planning and meal prepping consistently when we get home. So that's why it's included in my September goals. All right, my next weekly action item is sort of jumping the gun on one of my Q4 related goals. So that video is coming soon, but I felt like I wanted to get started on it now because that's what works better for me and the season that I'm in. And I had this realization. I was actually talking to my Patreons and our monthly live Q&A, and we were talking about cycles and how we are, as humans that live in this world, are at the mercy of normal cycles, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, etc. And so I set goals on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, on an annual basis. But sometimes that doesn't always line up exactly with the season that I'm in. And so right now, I'm almost transitioning right now from August to September to a new season. And I'm gonna be in that new season for September and then part of Q4. And then I'm gonna be in a different one because we're gonna move, we're not moving, but we're gonna go live somewhere else around the holidays. So I was like, you know what? Part of me is gonna put this on my Q4 goals, but I'm gonna start it now because it makes sense for me to start now. And that is decluttering my apartment. So we are only gonna be home for, like I said, September and then part of Q4. And during that time, I wanna make sure that I take the time while I'm there to declutter. And so it won't even be all of Q4, even though it's on my Q4 goals. I don't know if any of that made sense. There are just certain things that don't fit into the normal monthly, quarterly cycle of our year. And this is one of those things for me. So really the declutter goal is while we're in New York, which happens to be September, October, and part of November. And then that's it. And it's gonna be on my Q4 goal list, but it's gonna be done by then. And I'm going into it with another mindset. I think, I don't even remember if I decluttered at the beginning of the year. I don't remember what I did there. I know I decluttered last year. It's probably on every year's goal list, but this year, this time, I do have a slightly different mindset. There's two things that's really gonna help me go through this. The first one is we weren't there for 3 months. So everything we left behind, why did it get left behind? Is it because it's seasonal? Is it because I only need it if I'm going to work in person? Like what was the reasoning for leaving it behind? And if it's really because I didn't need it and I won't need it, like, can I get rid of it kind of thing? That's kind of one of the mindsets. The other mindset is we are likely gonna move apartments in New York. Apartment prices right now are crazy low for New York. And so I said I would never move again in the city, that we would just move when we left the city. But given the prices, I want to. It's totally worth it. So I think we're gonna move. And so I wanna have the mindset of, do I wanna move this item? Is it worth packing this and moving it to a new apartment? And if the answer is no, it's out of here. All right, the daily action items. All of these are pretty much a repeat of something I've done before with maybe a slight tweak on them. So the first two are just my AM routine and my PM routine. And the mindset I wanna have for my AM and PM routine in September is do something. I struggle a lot, let me know if you can relate, with if I don't have time to do the whole shebang, I won't even try. If I don't have time to do all the things that I have on my list for my morning or my evening routine, I just will give up and I won't even do part of it. that isn't gonna always be the option in September. With where we're gonna be and everything going on, there are going to be days that I can't do my whole full morning routine or my whole full evening routine. So I need to, first off, come up with some kind of shortened version of each of them, but then also be okay with just doing a shortened version. And guess what? I'm still gonna give myself the check, even if I only do that shortened version. So that's gonna be kind of my motivation, is I'm gonna pick what are the most important things. And as long as I do those things, I get the check mark. So that's kind of the mindset I'm having when it comes to my morning and evening routine, and why I'm putting it in September, because I know that by even doing part of it, I'm better off than if I do none of it. Okay, the next daily action item is the 100 photos. Like I talked about, right now, I've been doing it just a 3-minute timer every day and going through them. And that's what I'm gonna continue into September, even though I wrote 100 photos. All right, the next one is related to my Black Lives Matter goal. And like I talked about in August, I did my Launchpad planner and I kind of worked through all of those resources and exercises. In September, I just wrote the word learn. And what I wanna do is just make sure that I'm doing something every day that is helping me learn. And that could be reading in one of my books, many books that I've purchased on the subject. It could be watching an Instagram TV that has come up. I have a ton of them saved too that I actually haven't watched yet that I want to watch. It could be watching a movie with my family. It could be working in my Launchpad planner. It could, whatever it is, I just wanna make sure that there's one thing that I do every day to help me learn, and that I'm gonna check it off that way. So that way I'm not trying to do the same thing every day for a month. I'm using all of my different resources. And maybe it's a conversation with a friend. I've been having some incredible conversations with friends or with Sam about this. He's reading a different book than me, and so sometimes he'll be like, hey, in my book I read this, and I plan to read the book he's reading, but we have conversations about it. But I just wanna make sure that I am spending time every day working on learning and growing and acting and doing something. I wrote down learn because I think that I still have so much to learn before I can really start acting, but I think what I'm hoping it leads to is sharing, right? I'm hoping that it leads to sharing and acting on that learning, because that is where the difference comes in. Like, I'm gonna make a difference by acting and sharing and not just learning, but I have to start somewhere. All right, my last daily action item, I didn't quite know what color to give it because I don't really know what it is yet. So I gave it the mental health color, and what it is I'm going to be doing a program called Made For. And you may have seen advertisements for this because that's how I found out about it. I saw their advertisements, I think on Facebook and Instagram, I saw advertisements for it. And what it is, it's a program to help you work on habits, that are beneficial to you. And what they do is they send you a box. It's a 10-month program, and each month they send you a box with a tracker and a tool and like a bracelet. Honestly, I don't know all the details yet. But what happened was I saw the ad and I was like, awesome, that sounds like something I'm so interested in. Sounds right up my alley, right? Habits, awesome, sounds great. I looked at the price, and I was like, oh, all right, that's pretty pricey. It's a little bit more than I probably would spend on habits, but I'm pretty good at habits, so like, do I really need to spend that? So I was like, I don't know that I'm gonna do it. So then I clicked away, the advertisements came back, so I clicked on it again, and I found out that they have a program. I think it's called the Made For Connectors, I think is what they call it, but essentially you apply and they send you the program for free. And so that's what I did, and I got accepted, and so they are sending it to me starting in September for free. But I haven't gotten it yet as of the time that I'm filming this video, so I don't actually know what the first habit is. They don't have it posted anywhere, like what they are. And what they say on the FAQ is they don't want people to know like what they all are, because then they could just like do it themselves. Well, you're gonna find out, because I'm gonna tell you all them when I put them in my power sheets. But I'm gonna bring you along on this journey and let you know if I think that it's worth it. But I don't know what it is yet. So I just wrote Made For now, and once I get the package and then I know what it is, I might write it underneath. I have this gut feeling that the first month is water, which I'm totally down for. So I don't know, we'll find out, but I'm excited to give it a go. Let me know if you've also seen the ads for this company, because I see them everywhere. Those are all of my goals for September. I am, again, not going to do a monthly scheduling session as part of this video like I had been doing at the beginning part of the year. And that's because I am trying things a little bit different in terms of my monthly schedule. And you will see that in a monthly plan with me that's coming soon, how I've kind of put my goals into my calendar for the month. So that is gonna be it. I want you to let me know down in the comments below what is one thing that you accomplished in the month of August that you are super proud of. I want you to share it with us so that we can celebrate together. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Happy planning. My goals. It is I hate saying it that way, but especially, what's the way to say this? Water break. The way I enjoy not bringing in content. It hasn't arrived yet. It's hard to explain.